Guys, can the Clippers cover against the Hornets, favored by 8.5? LA is an electric offensive team, but Nick, they're 3-7 against the spread in their last 10 games.
Yeah, they are. I mean, the Clippers have been a really tough team to figure out, and 8.5 to me it's just so borderline. I want to take the Clippers. They should take care of business tonight as long as Kawhi and Paul George play. Obviously, the Hornets are down Gordon Hayward. They're still down Miles Bridges. This is a game that the Clippers should win fairly easily, but you're traveling across country on the front end of a back-to-back. Again, there's a lot to play for the Clippers. They want to hold off Denver for that 3 spot, but they're just a really, really tough team to trust, even when those 2 elite wings are in the lineup. With all that said, I can't trust the Charlotte Hornets at the same time. They've lost 2 in a row, granted to pretty decent opponents, but games that they really want to win as well. At the end of the day, I think there's just a little too much on the line for the Clippers to let this one slip. So I think they definitely win. Whether they cover the 8.5, we'll see. But for my money, I think they can.
Kenny, what do you think?
I disagree. I don't think that there's really anything on the line here for the Clippers. I just think that they don't really care if they're third or fourth. And yes, I mean, they could still get to second, but to me, this team has looked like they are very disinterested and checked out. They've covered just twice over the last 8 games. I have real trust issues with the Clippers. I know that it's gotten a little better lately, but even with Kawhi and Paul George and Patrick Beverley in the lineup, this team still didn't cover against a Toronto team that wanted to win. The Hornets, meanwhile, they're trying to trend upward to go into the postseason. They're trying to go in on a high note. And as home underdogs this year, the Charlotte Hornets are 12-8-1. The Clippers are just 17-15-1 on the road this year, and that is good. I mean, that's they've won more, they've covered more than they haven't. But you look at the fact that they have really covered in a lot of games. This is one of the worst spots to back them on the road. So I think that the trends here point towards the Hornets having a favorable matchup here, and also again just looking at with the eye test how these teams have played. I can't get behind a Clippers team right now that just seems like they're just they're basically running practice right now out there, and they don't really. I don't think they can be bothered to cover an 8.5 point spread. So give me the Hornets.